Hey VGW Universe, it's your VGW Cruiserweight Champion Luke Andrews here, the greatest Cruiserweight Champion of all time. Now, despite recent events that's going on here in VGW, I have to say that I've enjoyed every aspect of my Cruiserweight Championship reign. I've enjoyed facing every single opponent that's been put in front of me. I've been the fighting champion, making all these challenges and naming opponents and winning these matches, and being almost 40 years old and almost 20 years in the business, this has been the best run of my entire career, and I have no one else to thank but everybody that I faced. Whether it was in VGW Original or a CC, all of you have made me better. And whether my title reign ends tomorrow or maybe sometime next week or maybe even next year, I can honestly say that I put my best foot forward and bringing prestige to this Cruiserweight Championship and making it important again to be a Cruiserweight. So, when we go to Mexico on our go-home show before our final pay-per-view, Resiliency, I'm issuing an open challenge to any 3 Cruiserweights, whether I faced you before or I haven't, who wants to step up and face me in a fatal 4-way ladder match. Like I said, I'm going to be a fighting champion, and I want the best of the best to step up when we go down to Mexico. I know what you're thinking. You're all asking me, why? Why did you turn your back on Andrew Morris? Why did you join Brute Force when you said you weren't going to, but you said you didn't need their help? Why? I'll tell you why. But let me preface it by saying this. Leaving the boardroom of VGW was the greatest thing that I could have possibly ever done in my entire career, because it helped me see the whole landscape of the company and where it's going. It is right down the tubes. And none of that was more apparent than Fight for Destiny, when Adam Aries retained his brass ring briefcase against me. But you know what? That didn't bother me too much. It's a loss. I'll brush it off and I'll try it again. But the thing that really broke the camel's back, the one thing that really pushed me over the edge, was the fact that Adam Aries came out there at Miami and challenged Ryan Oxley for his VGW World Heavyweight Championship with that briefcase. That same night, the bully got in my ear and say, "Hey man, that should have been you. That could have been you. You could have been challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. Why Adam Aries? Just because they had the briefcase? You could have had that briefcase." And I didn't think about it at first, because I know the bully wants that VGW World Heavyweight Championship, so he extended an offer to me to join Brute Force. But I declined. But then I got home that same night and I got to thinking. And I saw it. The bully was right the entire time. In this company that Status Quo started, but my father helped build, all of these CCs were taken over. And I finally saw the truth that the bully had been trying to tell us for years. It all started back when Status Quo was made CWA General Manager. Like, really? Like the VGW channel was nothing more than GTS guys and CCs clamoring for an opportunity to be seen, and now he's bestowed upon this honor to be a general manager somewhere else, when he just let VGW die and be overrun by garbage and internet trash. You know, that really pissed me off. I was so glad that the bully came back and called Status Quo out on his shit, and then Status Quo felt bad and started bringing some of us back in. But what were we? Stepping stones for them. We got beat by them just to make them look good, to make them more famous, to make them the top stars of a company that we built. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. I can't believe that I couldn't see past it. Me feuding with Bash Robo Show day in and day out. in that little tender moment we had backstage. I mean, of course I knew I was being filmed and say, oh, I didn't want to be seen too soft or anything. But Bash, I have to tell you, I'm actually pretty glad that you didn't join Brute Force. You know why? Because Brute Force has no room for weakness, and you have got to be the weakest bitch I've ever stepped in the ring with. I mean, you've, out of everybody who's in Brute Force right now, you should be the main one in this group. Because look what happened to you at WrestleMania 21. A lot of people keep bringing it up, and I'm going to bring it up again. You should have won the WWE Championship from Status Quo, but you didn't. All because of his greed and his arrogance. And now look at this. Look where the company's going at now. There's no opportunity for you, Bash. There's no opportunity for any of us anymore. It's just going to be overrun by people who don't care about us, who don't care about this company, who don't care. They don't even care if they make it here or not, because they have options. They have options where they're stuck in these repetitive cycles where they're being plastered everywhere, you know, given titles and opportunities. Status Quo did the same thing, and look what it did to VGW. He handed titles away, and look where it's gotten them. Look at it. I mean, this is ridiculous. He fell into that same little trap that all these other colleagues do when they just want to get somebody who's got some clout behind their name and just throw a title on them and throw them into whatever little situation they want to be put into, and then what happens? They fall flat. Eventually they fizzle out. Now Status Quo tried to prevent that with some of us and some of the other CCs here, but hey, he didn't do a good enough job, you know, because now look at what's happening in the company now. But I digress. I joined Brute Force because the bully has been telling the truth the entire time. And then I look at that picture that's in my locker room. There's a picture of my father and Status Quo shaking hands. A picture that was taken back in 2001. That picture signified my father making this company better than what it was. With the help of Status Quo, of course. But I'm trying to figure out where did it all change, Status? I mean, sure, you can blame the creation suite of 2K15 and your burnout from 2K16. You could do all that, but in actuality, you just gave up on us. You saw all these other colleagues out here who's been on YouTube for years and years, maybe even a decade, and you tried to catch up, but you just couldn't do it. You tried to start so late in the game, and you thought you could compete with them, but you can't. Oh, now I get it. You couldn't compete with them, with us. The ones who've been here. Oh, so now I get it. So you are the clout chaser. Okay, Status, now I get it. Now you got these CCs and the GTS guys just to get some clout so you can compete with everybody else. And then you want to try to use us to try to pick up the scraps, but it didn't work out because now you ruined the company for us. And now you feel bad because now VGW is being known for CCs, and GTS, and fantasy characters, but not for the ones who started this company, not for the ones who built it from the ground up, not for the ones who put in the time, blood, sweat, and tears to make this company what it is. That's sad, Status. That's really sad. And it's really sad that it had to come to the formation of Brute Force to help you realize that what you're doing is wrong. It's all wrong. But I've said my piece. I'm here to help Brute Force. And in helping Brute Force, I hope to help VGW pull this stuff out of this hole that's in right now. But only one could hope that something could change from this. I mean, I don't want to go all CM Punk and say, oh, maybe status quo should die and then someone else should run the company. But, you know, never mind. I won't even get into all that. Just know that status, Brute Force is here to stay. And whether the Bully beats CDD or not, it doesn't matter. Because what's going to happen is that the VGW World Heavyweight Championship will come to Brute Force one way or the other. And we will get rid of the Next Gen Championship somehow. Because that Next Gen Championship represents the exodus of the true meaning, the true passion behind VGW. Not some flimsy, paper thin idea of what VGW is. So, status. I'd keep your eyes open if I were you, because Brute Force would be unstoppable. And the Bully has said it before, the numbers will keep growing, and you just might miss how bad things are going to get if you do not keep your eyes open. Hey, you lost, old man? Hey, you're walking in my shot. What the hell's the matter with you, you son of a bitch? Yeah, that's right, keep walking. Piece of garbage.